Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is G2K. Get to know. I'm here with Maria G. We're about to have a conversation about a serious subject, so no bullshit will be tolerated today. If you want to come in here and screw around, you will be instantly kicked out and timed out. If you want to come back and do it again, I will just have my moderators ban you. So, any moderators that show up, please be on guard because we're not fucking around today. We're having a serious conversation. With that being said, I give you Maria Jacopazzi. Maria Jacopazzi.
That's it, Jacopazzi. Yeah, absolutely. It is. I mean, not a lot of people do know. They sort of think, how do I say that? And I have to spell it out every time I said it. So yeah. We're going to talk about my. I think you might be able to help me here though, because what I just quickly said before we came live, like he was my favourite uncle, and
Right.
and that nothing ever happened to me, but like I said, my dad, everyone was absolutely petrified of my dad. So now I'm questioning, do you know, because I don't know, it just threw me. And they never asked me, well, I suppose he didn't need to ask if anything happened to me, but he never asked if anything did happen to me from my uncle.
That's because this parasite was afraid of your dad. He knew your dad would fucking kill his ass.
Well, yeah, I think my dad did do something because he ended up in hospital it was a suicide attempt, but I'm not sure if my dad was involved in that somehow. I don't know. He had slit wrists and
You don't know if it was an actual suicide attempt or a murder-side attempt.
Yeah, I mean, because it seemed weird how it was dad and his wife in the hospital with him, and I'm thinking, my dad, I don't know. He's very, I don't know. Well, you just don't mess with him. Just don't mess with him, you know. And like as I said, nothing ever happened to me. I used to go around his house. I think he used to babysit us. But when it all came out, I was like, because the thing is, this is where it's all confusing to me. Because when I read the details of what happened, it said there was someone abusing them before my uncle. It sounded like he took over, if you know what I mean. So my mind is going, well, who's that assailant as well? Because that was 1974. My cousin was born 1957, so he would have been 17 at the time in the 70s. So I don't know if it was. Well, he's actually been done for that. So, but it did say there was someone else involved before that. But I was shocked. But I think it's because he was my favourite uncle. I just couldn't believe it. I was just shocked, stunned, and I actually went round to his wife's house. I don't know why. I just had this thing. My dad was very involved with this, but I don't know if it was involvement with getting him arrested or in another way, because he would be underhanded in the way he did things, my dad. So I went to see his wife, Belinda, and it was so awkward, but I said to her, I said, look, I'm just going to ask you one question. I said, do you think my dad was involved in this in any way? And she said, yes. And she said there was a big conflict over, plastering company. My uncle was a plasterer, and he worked on his own. He did it on his own. And I don't know the ins and outs because she didn't say, but she just said, I think he was involved. And the really weird thing is, the picture I sent of my uncle to you, Giovanni, my dad and him are literally the spitting image. And I also have a cousin who is a spitting image of my dad. He's passed now, he's no longer here. But there's only my my cousin and my uncle both were like, so and then they split the family in two. So you've got one side of the family going, he's a paedophile, how, because it was family, like it was cousins, It was, you know, it was like.
One
But
second, Maria. I got it. 1 second, Maria. I got to give a shout out to everybody real quick. What's up, Steph? What's up, Ottawa? No paneling just yet. It's just Maria and I right now because Maria's telling a story about about growing up about this shit. What's up, Cash? Thank you for being here. Miss Gothy, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. If I was ever, what's up, Junior Coltrane? I hope you're gonna mind your manners today. I'm just saying. Cash, Mike D, thank you for being here. Number 2 is Prize, thank you for being here. My accuser is now dead. He died in 2012. That's good. That's good. Mine just recently died like 3 months ago. Miss Gothy, number 2 is Prize Cash. Mr. John McCombs here. Hardy Dad here. Number 2 is Prize. Jessica Lynn. Dreamverse. Everybody pull up a seat. Be respectful while you're here. Maria is telling a story about abuse. Although it didn't happen to her, she's still telling a story about abuse that happened within her family.
It would have been his, sorry. It would have been his. Sorry, it would have been his nephew and nieces because it was my cousins that it was happened to. So yeah, that's right. It was his nieces and nephews. But one side of the family, like I said, he's bound to rights. You know that everyone came forward. The only suspicious thing is my dad's got everyone to come forward. See, like I don't know if it was just my dad's so hard to work out. I don't know if he was doing underhanded or not. I really don't know. But the law is he got put away for this. So it's, you know, but they were my cousins he did it to. And they, you know, it took them, I think, they didn't really come out to the early 2020, you know, they just didn't want to tell no one. And the other side was saying it's just mistaken identity. It wasn't him, it was just mistaken identity. So I got two. So I'm like, there must be evidence. I mean, I didn't go to court or anything. I didn't do any of the court. I didn't go to the court. I could, because they were so I think, because what I sent you is what they put in the local paper, and it's quite explicit, I think, for what they didn't leave any out of what he did. And it was really upsetting, really upsetting. And I don't know if I can say, I've got to be careful what I say. But it, I don't really know. I forgot what I was going to say now. I was going to say something, then something stopped me. Then I thought of something. Then I thought, no, don't say that because I can't tell no one that yet. There's things I can't say yet, but that's not to do with my uncle. So yeah, everyone thinks it's just like, you know, mistaken identity, but I'm not sure. See, I feel like I'm on the other side of this, you know, because this is a serious crime. You know, this is from, I suppose, a member of the family to me doing it, you know, like,
right.
You know, you're one of the family. I suppose, you know, in your mind, I suppose you don't want it to be true, do you?
Yeah, you never want it to be true. You just when you hear that kind of information, it's a real slap to reality.
It was disgusting. I've never read. My first thought was I've never read something so explicit in a newspaper than I have. It was in the local newspaper that you know everyone read, you know, and like it. And then I felt shame. I felt shamed that, you know, I didn't want to go. Because everyone knew the Jackapazzis, everyone knew Jivvy, everyone knew that, you know, and like I didn't want to go out because I just thought, will people think, I don't know, I can't explain it, but I just felt like the name was tainted or something, you know. I've never known anyone close to me that has done anything like that, you know, never. Well, luckily I don't, you know, but it is
Right,
serious.
Cash? Seriously, yeah, Maria. Take your time. No stress. We're good. We're good.
I mean, I think he served 7 years. I don't, but it don't, then it run concurrent because there was, there was incidents 1974 to I think 1976, and then in the 1990s, that was the early 1990s. See, the 70s, I was only the 74. I was only 2, so there's no way I would have ever been involved in anything. But I just felt like people look at me and say, "Oh, your uncle's a paedophile." They would look at me going, "Oh, I heard about your uncle." People were stopping me and like
Yeah.
talking about it, and I found that very hard because, like anyone says, I didn't know. I didn't know that it was happening. Obviously, I never got no fives, and I kick, and then I think to myself, and then I look at myself thinking, why didn't I know? Why didn't I see anything?
How old were you when this was taking place?
Well, I say I was only 2 when the first ones were committed, but in 1994 I was out raving then. I was raving at that then. From it was in the early 90s, so I would have been about 20 odd. So, but I wasn't seeing him then,
Right.
because obviously I was out enjoying myself. I mostly saw my uncle when I was young, because that's when we would go around there, or he would babysit us. I saw a lot of my family when dad was home and we was a family. They would come visit at Christmas. We would go there at Christmas, and I was always go around telling everyone he's my favourite uncle, but and like couldn't wait to see him. And I'm thinking, is there something in that? Because I don't know, because it shocked. And I
Yeah.
think to myself, like, is this purely because of my dad that nothing happened? Purely because of that? Because I mean, I think I couldn't imagine ever having anything like. I must be really hard to even come out and say it, that something has happened. I mean,
Right.
I've gone
And it
close.
is.
I
And it
just
is like myself. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell my parents what happened until I was almost 17 years old. And to this day, I regret telling my parents what happened to me.
Yeah, I don't know if you listened to the message, but with close to me that's going for it, and I've had everyone involved, like I left you a message. I've got the police. The police are now involved with what I spoke to you about.
Yeah.
As about, not about this, about my other one, So
Right.
I feel it's very up in my mind at the moment, because obviously I'm going through it with someone right now. So it did bring back memories of my uncle, and how they get away with it, and because one was in the bedroom and one was in the toilet. And I'm thinking, there was obviously no one around. Was he just babysitting them because obviously they were younger, being his nieces and nephews? And it said it happened in Bognor, so it had to be at his house. I would have thought.
You
I
know,
can't.
like for me, when I like that's one thing about sexual abuse is people think that it's this long drawn out process. And a lot of times when I was being sexually abused, like legitimately, it was a matter of just minutes, just minutes.
Yeah,
It only
yeah.
takes it only takes a few minutes for a dude to get the rocks off. You know what I mean?
That's it.
And
I know. Yeah,
that's legitimately what it comes down to. It takes matters of minutes.
yeah. It's. I just God. They've got. I just. Because I'm questioning. Do you know when? Because I really want to talk. Because because I feel I need. I know I don't deserve answers, and I haven't got any right for answers. But I do feel I want to know what sides of the story. But I don't suppose anyone will want. I don't know. I just felt I needed to know more, because I think I've only heard what people want me to hear. And all I know now, he's in Plymouth. He's in where Martin is. I
Mm.
said to Martin, I said, he lives near you, Martin.
Nice. Real nice.
Oh, but yeah, he's on every site. If you search his name up, he's everywhere. Everywhere. It is literally, that's all you see is a man like sexual abuse, and he, I can't even say what he did to I can't even say what he did to him, because I want to be like, oh, I don't know, I feel numb as well about it all, because I wasn't sure. That's why I went to see his wife, because I didn't ask her if she thought he did it, because that would be too wrong, wouldn't it? I couldn't have said that. I just asked if my dad was involved, because he was involved a lot with the court and the witnesses. And I think he had a hand in with my uncle in hospital, to be honest. I really do.
Probably
Because
so.
I really, really do, because he brought them there. My dad brought him there. What's that say? My dad
Yeah.
went out. My dad went out searching for. All I know is, obviously, my dad went out searching for him, because I knew that would be the first thing he'd do. And then he said he found him trying.
Mm.
He found him with his slit wrist and that, brought him into hospital. But I don't think that's true. I think my dad did what he did.
Yeah.
Brought him into hospital. You will confess, and he confessed on his hospital bed. So what's that say? Because I don't know. I'm thinking, did he think I can't take no more? I need to. I did it because I don't want, because
Right.
I don't want it to be. I don't think my dad's like would keep going on, but he would. I think my dad knows how to handle situations quite well, and well, not always nicely, should I say though.
Right.
I reckon he dragged into the hospital, and I know he took him to the police station too, because he said he wasn't going to leave him, and like that must have been hard too, because dad stuck by his side, but that was to make sure he didn't go nowhere. He wanted to make sure that the next place he would go from the hospital, I think he was on remand for quite a while you get put on remand before you get your court case and that, and like that those days get taken off your sentence. But what you were reading out the other day about sentencing, he got 7 years. I think for the first one, I can't remember, I think it was 4 years after that
Oh,
run.
that makes me so fucking. That makes me so
I
mad,
mean,
dude.
it's not, look, it's nothing, is it? 7 years,
No,
and I bet
it's
he
nothing.
deserved that.
For the damage it causes the victims, it's nothing. They should
It's
lose
not,
their fucking life. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. They should lose their lives for it.
absolutely. I don't
Like
think.
like this person that did this shit to me, he took a huge chunk of my life before I even knew what the shit was. You know what I mean? And
I'm good.
and that's not. It's not okay. It's not okay
Well,
whatsoever.
that's it. Because there's a lot of children. There's a lot of children. I know this, that have been brought up with abuse, but they think it's normal. I've actually heard there's children that actually think that's normal and think it goes on in every family. I mean, that's really heartbreaking. You know, it's just like, that's why I said this petition. I will keep on at it. I'm never going to stop. I'm just going to keep going and going and going. And I think we're doing so well. I put it on all the news stations on YouTube, the ones that were showing like where they caught the paedophiles or they caught the traffic gangs. So I put the petition on every single one of them, you know. So we got to, yeah, I will keep getting it out, and I think we're 5 away from 700 at the moment. So yeah, so and then this what it's like really weird, because you've been through it yourself personally, and my uncle has done it to his nieces and nephews.
All right, Cash, be good. Thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it, my friend, my brother. Thanks, man.
And now he's in Plymouth, and I don't know. I don't know. You have to sign. I was under the understanding you have to sign
Right.
when you're on the sex offenders register. I think because they always have to know where you are. So they really are supposed to keep tabs on them, but I understand they can't. And I think a lot of the trouble, and I don't think he's allowed. They can actually stop them having internet as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Like that's something like here in America. Once you get convicted of one of these crimes, especially if it has anything to do with the internet, like they're not supposed to be on any kind of social media.
no,
They're not supposed to be on any kind of shit like that. And they are, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
well, there was a thing here that it was so sad. This little boy got, Jamie Bolger, his name was. He was only a toddler. He got taken by these two boys, and they killed him on the train tracks. But they got immunity. They got a new identity, moved away, and then one of them actually put himself right and made it. I think he tried, but the other one, he got he had porn, a lot of child porn on his computer, and like loads of images and everything, but he never got put away because of his identity. It's just crazy. Oh, is he still there? You still there? Oh,
Sorry, my wife was asking me a question. I can't concentrate.
that's all right. That's okay.
I get scattered.
Oh, I do too. That's why I'm in the
You're
shed.
good, babe. Where do we go?
And no one's in it.
Yeah.
Because if no one talks to me, I will totally forget everything. So
Yeah, me too.
But I don't know if we want to say about what he did to me.
I will. I'll read that in just a minute. I'm trying to get this.
Oh, it's all right.
I'm trying to get this picture you sent me sent over to my email so I can show his pig ass face. You know what I mean? Because I want people to see what this bastard looks like.
Yeah.
So, okay, how do I do this again? Okay, here and here.
But the sentencing they get is, well, even murderers here only get about 15 years. It's not like they're tough on American murderers, but why can't they be tough on the paedophiles?
It's all because they're trying to normalize this behavior. I think somebody said that earlier in the chat. They're trying to normalize it, and I don't care where you live in the world.
House, aren't they?
Yes.
What is it? Something attracted to children. There's abbreviations for it. Oh my god.
MAPS, minor attracted people.
That's the one. What's it? What's the first word mean?
Minor, like little, like underage, yeah. Minor attracted people. So these are people that are attracted to minors in a sexual manner.
But it shouldn't even be abbreviated as MAP.
Yeah,
shouldn't even be that. That's because people were saying, obviously I was looking into it. I thought that shouldn't even be a bloody thing. Do you know what I mean? That I can see what you mean by trying to normalize it. Like it's normal for an adult to be attracted to a child. And it's not.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Come up to me and tell me that you're sexually attracted to my underage daughter, and I'm gonna break your fucking neck.
Isn't it? Exactly.
Whether you have plans, whether you want to actually have sex with I'm gonna break your fucking neck. I don't care who you are, I'm gonna break your neck.
Yeah. They need it needs to be much, much harsher. Much. Life should mean life, but it doesn't. Life doesn't mean life. Not here anyway, not in the UK. We must have
it doesn't really mean that here either.
We really have a soft justice system here. Really do. I mean, like you said, murderers only get about 15, 20 years. Yeah. That's my uncle, Giovanni.
And then I'll go back here. Okay, so this took place. This was in March 2009. A
Bogner.
Bogner.
That's it.
A Bogner man pleaded guilty of sexual. A Bogner man guilty of sexually abusing more than young girls. A Bogner resident man has been found guilty of sexually abusing 2 more young girls. Giovanni Jacopazzi, 52, indecently assaulted the young girls, aged 4 and 8 at the time, on several occasions. His actions were reported to the police in late 2007 after he was accused of carrying out similar assaults on a young boy and 2 other young girls between 1989 and 1992, for which he was sent to prison for 4 years in February last year. The girls in the case were already being sexually abused by another man when Jacopazzi carried out his assaults between 1974 and 1977 at an address in Bogner. A relative of the victim said, "I am disgusted by it. The victims have gone through a big ordeal for quite some time. People should be encouraged to come out with it. They should be allowed to be free of it. It is the worst offense to do in my book. They should throw away the key."
That's my dad saying that.
Jacopazzi said the girls were mistaken. Jacopazzi said the girls were mistaking him for the man who had already been abusing them. His attacks include torturing the girls' private parts on more than one occasion, licking one of the girl's private parts, and getting her to touch his private parts. Judge Claudia Ackner said Jacopazzi kept his victims quiet with bribes, threats, and told them that they would be called dirty liars if they told on him. "You took advantage of 2 young girls who were aged 4 and 8 at the time. Then you knew when you knew they were being sexually abused." It took a jury less than an hour to find him guilty of all 10 charges, 9 of which were indecent assault, the other being for indecency with the child. He was sentenced to 7 years. Wow. 7 years in total. It will run concurrently.
Oh, in total?
In total, yeah. So, and it'll run concurrently with the 4 years he is currently serving. So, if anybody doesn't know what that means it runs at the same time. Concurrently means it runs at the same time. So he's already serving 4 years. Well, that 4 years and that 7 years are running at the same time. So he's serving both of his sentences at the same time.
Oh, it shouldn't be. It should be all added together.
Yeah. So basically, he got sentenced to three more years for what he did to these other 2 girls.
Wow.
That's it.
It's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah. January 2008, man jailed for sexual assault on youngsters. A man from Bogner will spend 4 years in jail after pleading guilty to indecently assaulting children at his home.
Oh, it was his home.
Giovanni Jacopazzi, 50, committed several offenses against 3 children, a boy and 2 girls, who were all under the age of 16 during the early 1990s. Chester Crown Court heard that Jacopazzi touched the private parts of a young girl as he playfully swung her round. On another occasion, licked the girl's private parts as she lay on a bed. On another occasion, she was asked to put her hands on his private parts. Another female victim was asked to perform a sexual act on Jacopazzi while he was in his downstairs toilet, and on another occasion, she recalled being asked into his bedroom and told to perform a sexual act on him. The victim went to the police last August, and Jacopazzi was arrested. The court heard that while he was on bail, he was taken to hospital after cutting his wrists. Too bad he didn't cut them deep enough, and throat. Too bad he didn't cut it deep enough, in a suicide bid. Prosecutors Mike Newbold said that Jacopazzi made comments to his wife that he was guilty as charged. Jacopazzi pleaded guilty to 3 counts of indecent assault against children under the age of 14, 2 counts of enticing a child to commit an act of gross indecency, and 1 count of gross indecency with a child. Judge Anthony Thorpe, sentencing, said that Jacopazzi had taken advantage of his victims and had caused them and their families great hurt. Offenses of sexual depravity against children are always so serious that neither a fine alone nor a community sentence can be justified for them. They can only require custodial sentences, he said.
Not enough, though. It's not enough, is it?
This
God.
motherfucking idiot, he shouldn't be fucking... He gives us... Anyway.
Well, he's out now. He's out. He's been out for a while now. So... Oh, I don't know.
Jacopazzi was banned from working with children and will now be listed as a sex offender register for life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's currently 439 sexual abusers in Plymouth, United Kingdom today.
Yeah. That's just one place.
Yeah.
There's so many of them.
Let's get this pig off my screen.
Oh,
see, now I'm going to say something, Maria, and you can stop me if I'm not supposed to say it, but
okay.
Maria is not allowed to read you what I just read you. For reasons I don't understand, but I don't live in the UK. I don't expect you to tell us why, but I understand. I get it. You're not legally, she's not allowed to read about it. She can't go on the internet and disclose the information that I just disclosed to you guys.
Yeah, well, what I did try and copy the link, right? But it wouldn't let it pay. It wouldn't do it. It wouldn't do it. And I thought, so. But no, I can't. It's just like it's all too much, and it's like that's exactly what the petition's for, to get the harsher punishments from, because I mean, what's 300 months in a year? Because you were saying what you was reading out the other day, saying they got 300 months. I mean,
that's 20 years.
Oh, still not a lot, though, is it?
It's not. It's nothing. From what these motherfuckers take from their victims, a 20-year sentence is nothing.
They take away their childhood.
I'm almost 46
years old.
Yeah, I'm almost 46 years old. And I still am struggling in my life with what the fuck happened to me.
And that's understandable.
My wife is 44 years old. She still struggles on a daily fucking basis with the shit that happened to her. What's a proper sentence for that? It's death. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, man. I don't care.
It has to be death. I don't see any other way, because if you put them, I don't agree with them spending a whole life in prison just because the taxpayers pay for it. And it costs a hell of a lot of money for people that pay tax to have them in there, even anywhere. So to kill them would be just the easy solvable way, because you've taken that child's innocence away and you've ruined them, and what you put on a child, and like they're never going to forget that.
Like just because I was a physical victim of my abuser, my wife was a physical victim of her abuser, but my parents, my unborn children, before I even knew I was going to have children, became victims of what this motherfucker did to us, man. Period. That's there's no bullshit about it. Every single person that you meet in your life after you've been sexually abused becomes a victim of what happened to you. You don't let your guards down. You don't let your walls down. You don't let people get close. You don't let friendships happen. All kinds of shit. So everybody becomes a victim, and it's just bullshit.
It's sounding like the one that I'm talking about. Totally, that's what's going on here. Just very I've got someone that's very angry at people, very angry, and think that to be used to things happening to you is not good for a child to be. Oh, I'm used to it, and like, it's fine. No, it's not fine.
It's not okay. It's not okay. So Miss Gothi says, but you get technical, they can't work anywhere. They can't go to the grocery store because there's minors. They can't work in a factory because minors can work in a factory, gas things, minors. I don't care. I don't care what kind of struggle, I don't care how hard it is for them to find a place to live. I don't care how fucking hard it is for them to find a job. I don't care how much they got to struggle for the rest of their fucking pathetic lives. They deserve every struggle that comes their way.
See, in America, at least you have the death. You have to. We don't even have the death penalty. We don't have that. It's just prison. And like I said, life is about 15 years. The most I've ever heard someone get is about 20 odd years. It's the most for murdering. And the only people that stay in are serial people that have killed a good few people. They're the only ones that stay, but they get sent to Broadmoor, the nutty prison.
Yeah. Mike D, I have checked out the shit in South Korea. It's mind-numbingly insane. I can't even put it into words how fucked up it is in South Korea for people who have been abused like that.
I don't know what's going on about that.
They basically get given everything in a way, like for real. Like nothing happens to them. They might do a couple years. They might do a couple years in prison, but that's it. Maybe. They're so lenient. They're so lenient. It's fucking. It's deplorably disgusting, and that's not even a joke.
It's terrible.
See, Mikey goes on and says, Junior Culture says it's actually accepted and promoted in most Middle Eastern cultures. It's normal to them.
Did you know? I've only just found this out. In the UK, obviously not very publicised, they are marrying young girls in their religion. And I don't think it should be allowed in the UK because we're not that religion. And they are, it's their religion, but they're in our country. Why should they be allowed to do that? Because it's illegal to have sex with someone under 16. It's illegal. So why are they allowing marriages between an older man, whatever the religion they are, and like have a young bride? Because they think they say you're old enough to bleed, you're old enough to breed, and it's disgusting.
Old enough to bleed, old enough to breed, and it's fucked up. Like, no,
it's disgusting. I hate that. It's
fuck. Because I don't mean to discuss shit about my daughter, but my daughter started her period when she was 9 years old.
So did mine. 9.
So go ahead and say that shit around me. You're gonna get fucking punched in the throat.
No way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're in the head to say that. Do you know what I mean? If that's your reasoning for having a bride because they can now have a baby, should we say?
Yep.
Why do girls like, and my answer is, God, girl, why has God created us to have those done then? But God, 9 years old is very young. And that's what it goes on, and it's really sad. And I was 14. I was like, but they haven't got a choice. They're getting held, whatever, and they have to do it, and they don't. I know that, obviously the girls are scared. You're obviously scared of what's going to happen if you don't go through with, marrying. And I can't see how a child, oh my God, my friend was 16 when she had her baby, but I can't imagine a 9-year-old. I can't imagine around have a baby.
I can't even begin to think about wrapping even trying to remotely think about that being acceptable anywhere. Like, go ahead, a 9-year-old you're gonna get your fucking shit chopped to pieces. I'm gonna fucking hammer you I'm gonna nail you to the floor. I'm gonna cut you up in pieces and feed you to your fucking dog. That's what I'm gonna do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I mean that shit.
But it's being put. Like I said, I think it's trying to be pushed. I think you're right. It's trying to be normalized.
Yes,
I
they're
really
trying to
think you're
normalize
right.
behavior, and it's not okay.
Because even, I mean, it's all right saying, oh, but that's the religion. They, you know, in their country, they can marry 9-year-olds. But even so, that's not right.
Yeah, it's not.
Know, how does it? Do they? I mean, do they make up that really? I mean, how does that happen? Where you get? I don't even know. It shouldn't be allowed, and I just don't. You know, it's being talked about, but nothing's been done about it. It's just been talked about, you know, and there should be more stricter everywhere. They should be stricter. I mean, I don't know why countries decide to think that's okay to do things like that. I'm, you know, no idea, because they're really cruel. I mean, I've I've read some things on other countries, you know, and like children, and I think, oh my God, you know, it's just gets worse. You know, it's like everywhere, and there's loads of them everywhere. They're everywhere, and I don't understand. I mean, I know women can be it too, can't
100%
they?
is coffee. Time for night gardening
Time
club. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah.
but
We put him
really,
on
you know,
TV and say that he's missing, but he'll get found by an old man fishing. So what happens when you toy with vicious ambition? Really? You're saying, really? I don't care. I don't care what anybody says, dude, or thinks or wants to call the cops, dude. You fuck with my kids, I'm gonna put you in a fucking hole in the ground.
exactly.
I will hold my head high, screaming, "Yeah, I killed this fucking ass for my children." I don't give no fucks, dude. I don't care. I know
That's
how
why I
devastating
post.
that was to me. Not happening.
That's why I posted like, but you get, but there's a woman that killed a paedophile, but you get, but she got put away. It just seems shocking that. I know. I mean, I know we say two wrongs don't make a right, but she was only protecting her family, and she. I mean, that's a brave thing to do. What she did,
Yeah,
really, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely.
for me, you know, to be in that adrenaline, I think, taking over
Yeah,
and rage, that's what I can see why she did it. She killed that man, you know,
yeah.
but they have to be lenient on. I think the people that have attacked them or killed them or whatever, I know many got beat up, but we should, it's eye for an eye, in it.
No, it's more than
What,
that. It's knife for a life. Like like that's honestly how I feel. I don't give a fuck what anybody says or thinks or feels about it. I don't care. I really don't.
mm,
That's the type of person I am. I'm gonna say what I want. I'm gonna do what I want, and that's how it's gonna be, regardless of what it makes people feel or think about me. Now,
yeah,
CFM's queen, my sister, my big sister here, another one, says it perfect right here. Listen to what she says here. She says, "Your innocence is stolen. Your love language is destroyed. Your trust is broken. You have trauma and night terrors and hours awake and sleeping. It doesn't end for us." What is when that is the turnout for what
yeah.
happens to a child who gets sexually abused? What is the proper fucking sentence for somebody who steals all of that? I had a night terror the other night, dude. Woke the whole entire apartment complex up, dude.
No, yeah. I reckon we could do more. I mean, do you know what? When I said I got this, I did a petition because I wanted to get a disability recognised, and I got it recognised. I went to Parliament, we got it done, and it was all done right. But we made it very powerful. Like, we had statements from people saying how they've been let down. This was about education and not being, not getting assessed, And I had statements from everyone. Not even it was just even if it was just it happened to me, it shows you as one person. So that's what I did. And we had, not everyone could come to the protest and do all that. So for everyone that signed the petition, we tied ribbons. So we had 11,000 ribbons, you know.
Nice.
It was very powerful, and it can be done with this. It can be done with this, you know. I mean, it is a touchy subject, and I know, and like you said, there's been over 9,000 shares to that petition, and like what you say is true.
Yes. See, and I was pointing that out. Hang on one second. Keep that thought because I'll forget it. Mike D says it's a pivotal moment in your formative years. You no longer know innocence and have to relearn it in order for your children, future children, to experience it. Innocence is so fragile. I have no idea what innocence was as a child. I don't.
Exactly.
No clue. No idea. I had to figure that shit out on my own.
Exactly. It got taken away, you know, and like, and then you're struggling with that on your own. You're having to deal with that on your own in your own head, you know. So yeah, 9,000 shares.
Oh yeah. So this petition that Maria started for us, for the group, whatever the fuck you want to say, it's got over 9,000 views on it. It's got over 2,500 shares on it, and only 650 fucking signatures.
And I said, what for you said it's either the people that don't want to know, turn a blind eye, or you are a predator, you're a paedophile. You know, but it's shocking really the amount of people that have looked and shared, and you know, but I will say one thing, you know, because many people, I mean, I know I've done it myself. When you do click to sign the petition, you must confirm it in your email, otherwise it's not going to count. It won't go up. It takes it away. Cause I've actually seen at one point that it went down, so I'm assuming they didn't go to their email, they didn't click confirm, and I think that has a lot to do with it. But I'm not saying all those thousands, though, you know. It's not on that level, but
it just gives you, for me, I look at it like this: there was 9,000 views on that, and there should have been 9,000 signatures on it, but there's not, because here's why. Because most of the people that are seeing this petition, they're fucking pedophiles.
Yeah,
they're fucking pedophiles.
Oh no.
Look at it. That is that exactly, and I'm saying that's what the case is, and that's how fucking disgusting. Over 9,000 people viewed this petition, and only 650 signatures on it. What's the ratio to that? And Miss Coffee, I knew what you were saying. I wasn't saying, you know, I got what you were saying, Miss Coffee, 100%. I got what you're saying. Yes, they need to be worm food. I get it. Absolutely, I agree.
None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense.
It don't.
We can't, and that's why I said I'm never going to give up, and I will. I've got still so much more to send. America's a big place, you know. So, you know, I'm working for America. And I'm determined to get it, and I'm determined to do well, and like, because we just got to keep pushing. You know, we need to push them out. We need to get them to a place where they can't hurt or do anything to a child ever again. Never again, ever. I don't see how because in they take it on a risk level. How can you do a risk assessment on a paedophile?
You can't. They're a risk.
Paedophile.
They're a risk. Period. They should be handled as so. Period.
But they assess them and they say, well, they only had that. And you know, I've been watching a lot of I watch a lot of American. It's the council site. It's John Hawley. I watch a lot of it because a lot of it is on paedophiles. But still,
Junior Coltrane, I don't know if your brother does social media or YouTube or whatever, but you should give my link to your brother and tell him to come join this community, because we'll help support him. We will help. We'll be there for him. We will help him get through what he's going through, because there's a lot of us in this community that understand exactly what kind of struggles he's going through, and it's not okay, bro. It's
No,
not
it's
okay.
not okay.
Our lives get totally fucked because somebody wants to get their rocks off. It's not okay.
No, it's not. And to like make it to means, oh, I can't stand that. I can't stand that name Maps. You know, to be that's just oh, don't they like paedophiles? Does it offend them or something? They want to be normalized for it. Oh
Yep.
God, yeah. Anyone. It doesn't matter. There's judges that are paedophiles. There's police that are paedophiles. There's it because they don't go around telling people they're doing it. You know, they're not going to go, oh, unless you are. I mean, all right, some do share. I mean, they do have a network. Some of them, don't they?
Oh
Where
yeah.
they're, you know,
Oh yeah. I read a case the other day. I think it was 2 Fridays ago that I read this case. And the parasite that I was reading about, he was caught with over 2,000 files, not images, files.
wow,
2,000 files of images and videos of prepubescent children being raped and molested.
wow.
They gave the motherfucker 10 years in prison.
They're not going to look. They're not. I don't see what they. I mean, do they think by putting them in prison, oh, this punishment, it's not going to stop them being what they are?
No.
You're not going to stop them being a paedophile, you know? I mean, if there's no death penalty, I would definitely cut their bits off and cut their hands off. I would definitely, because I'd be amputating. I'd be amputating everything.
Yeah.
Now, goodbye, you
But
know?
CFM's Queen said, I had to relearn how to feel because I had to shut things down and hide
Yeah,
inside myself. So I couldn't feel the pain anymore. I had to
yeah.
escape and numb out and learn how to feel again. But unfortunately, you can never completely hide. See, and I actually developed dissociative identity disorder because of this stuff.
Right.
So when my
It's
abuse,
trauma. It's trauma that makes these conditions happen. It's
yes,
trauma based. A
yes,
lot of
like,
it.
like my mental health struggles to this day because of this shit. I'm a lot stronger than I used to be, but dissociative identity disorder, like I developed it because I came up with imaginary people in my mind that when my abuser would come to abuse me, I would escape by putting this person in my
Right.
mind in my place.
You had your own ways of coping
Yes,
or trying to
yes,
cope, shall we say?
yes.
And
You know,
I completely get that we can shut down. It's like when I had an incident here a little while ago, we had the police called, and the man was asking if my son had hit me or anything. I said no, he hadn't done anything, but they knew about my history with my husband, the abuse and all that, right? And it really hit home. The policeman said to me, he said, you know, he said, well, I'm not saying you're lying. He said, but it can be the time, you know, after all those years, you build up a resistance, and it doesn't do anything because you built up a resistance to the shouting and the, you know, and swearing, you know, just totally. My, no, it don't do nothing. And then I
yeah,
say, you're right. I never thought of that, you know, and
like
I
for real,
that's what's
like
happened
like
to,
like
yeah, and
the thing. Go ahead, go ahead.
I think that's what's happening to my daughter in that. I think definitely, oh, do you know what, I mean, a lot of her things are trauma based with Charlene at the moment, you know. And that's what really, see, that's what should they I don't think they take enough into account when they do this with cases like that with the paedophiles.
They
They
don't.
don't do it enough.
They look at the short. They look at the here and now. They don't think about what's happening to that child in the future. They don't give a fuck. They don't care.
Trauma.
Prosecuting attorneys are so set on getting a conviction that they'll do anything to get that conviction, including drop charges, make plea deals that are like, you don't even got to register as a sex offender. What the fuck are you talking about? What about my sentence? I didn't commit no fucking crime, and I was sentenced to a life of fucking hell.
Yeah, but look at the
One
disorder
sick
you got
fucking
through it.
document.
But it's not just that. Like my daughter's developed trauma-based conditions, you know, and it's not. It's just she's selective mutism. She's got an eating disorder, and it's all to do with all the abuse she had. And it's really, I don't, you know, self-harming. you know, and it's heartbreaking for me, because, you know, to watch your daughter be, you know, knowing what had caused that. And
Yeah.
oh, it makes I thing is, I think I've come onto it because what I want to do is not what I should do, and what I'd
Yeah.
be put away for, and it wouldn't be fair, you know, and I couldn't do that for my family. But that is what I would like to do, is to go and sort it out myself.
Yep. I tell you, there'd be a lot of people missing on TV.
Yeah, they would, wouldn't there? God, there'd be no. I can't believe that. You know what? I don't think people understand the scale of how many paedophiles they are.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I really wish I could, you know, understand if you're. Do you think they're born like it?
Nope. It's a learned behavior. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, because look, it's a learned behavior.
Right. Okay.
Somebody down the line has taught them that this kind of behavior is okay.
True. True.
Like me. I couldn't make, like, I had a decision to make. I could either have gone the path of a pedophile or become stronger and became myself and who I am today.
But that takes willpower as well, though.
It's a choice. 100%. It's a choice.
Mm,
You know
yeah.
that these things, like, you know how these things made you feel, but yet you go and you go and do this shit to children, knowing how it made you feel.
Mm,
You choose
yeah.
to do that. So anybody that says you're born a pedophile can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, because I don't think I mean, you know, I think, I mean, I think you're born gay and all that, but I think to get to, you're not born a murderer, you're not born
No,
like
it's a
a
choice.
pedophile,
It's a choice.
and it
Yeah.
is how, you know, I'm doing a child psychology course, and it's nature against nurture,
Yes.
and its
So
environmental surroundings can have a great effect of harm on child. And so, yeah, I'm learning a lot through that, and they have a tough time.
yeah,
That child goes through hell.
it's a full life of struggle. It's a full life of struggle. Some of us come out of it way stronger. Some of us don't come out of it at all. Some of us end up turning their tragedy into what I've done here. You know what I mean? Like,
And
anybody can say whatever they want. I started this for this reason, to get awareness out, to start putting people on blast, to make people see how fucking detrimental this shit is to people.
yeah,
Mike D, thanks for coming by. He says, I have to run, y'all. Maria,
thank you.
thank you for sharing. G2K, thank you too. Keep the shit up. I'm never going to quit. I'm never going to stop. I could have no people in here watching. I could have 1,000 people in here watching, and I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing.
Every
Thank you
little
for the $10
helps.
super chat. Mike D, thank you for the 10 memberships you bought, my friend. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much today, Mike D.
Yeah, I think it can help you to make a difference, you know, like like your book. I mean, that's just amazing to do that, you know. And I think, you know, I know I know you can take a choice, but that choice is, I should imagine that choice is the most hardest choice that you make. And that's why I think many go the other way, because it's overwhelming. You know, you know, that's it. You know, what do I do? So, you know, they might take the option out of getting rid of themselves, and then the pain's over. And that's just awful, because, and to know that someone's caused that, they should be charged. They should be charged with death. If you've abused someone, and that,
I call them 47-cent cases. Why 47-cent cases? Because that's about what it costs to make a 9mm bullet. I'll line them up. I'll line them up. I don't give a fuck. I'll line them up 3, 4 at a time.
yeah, you got the shooting one somewhere, haven't you? Where's that?
Right,
Where's
straight to the forehead.
firing
Point
squad?
blank and personal. You did this. You did this. You're a pig. You die. Start
Exactly.
doing that shit and watch the numbers drop drastically.
Yeah, definitely.
The reason
I
why it's
I
so, the
can't
reason why it's
believe the
so
way.
prevalent is because there's really no punishment. Crimes, the punishment for crimes are supposed to be so harsh, it makes people not want to commit that crime to begin with, and those that do
Exactly.
get caught for it, it makes it that the punishment is supposed to be so they don't want to do it again. When you get a slap on the fucking hand and you don't have to be accountable for shit, where's the deterrent to keep you to stop you from doing this shit? There is none.
No, there
That's
isn't.
what's fucking wrong. That's what's fucking wrong.
Exactly. It's not, you know,
So, Miss
they
Angie,
need to do more for the children, because it seems to me the children aren't even getting noticed. They're not getting, you know, it's
they're being silenced.
to see your abuser get 7 years, 4 years, whatever, and you're thinking and then to me, like, I know how my daughter feels. Well, what's new? They're used to having it happen, and they're used to them getting away. They're used to, and you shouldn't have to be used to thinking like that, you know.
No,
But
there's so many kids out there. There's so many kids out there who become adults that still won't come forward with their story because they don't see what the point is. What's the point of rehashing and going through all this fucking trauma again?
yeah,
So because they know that he's just going to go do 2 years, 3 years in prison. What the fuck? Why do I want to put myself through all that shit
yeah,
just to have this motherfucker get a slap on the hand? It's the balance is it's so off. It's so unbalanced. It makes me sick to my stomach.
definitely. I just think, I mean, I just think, get to the right people. I mean, there is good people out there, you know. We just got to get out to the people that care, the people that, you know, could everyone. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that don't care about children. Do you know what I mean? I know what goes on. It must be
100%, Junior. It must be psychologically painful when you tell a
yeah.
victim child, "I don't believe you. You're a liar." Talk about adding insult to injury.
I was called a liar
Then
by
they
my
will never
mum.
speak up again. Like my wife, I've told my wife's story a little bit on here many times. My wife was abused by her fucking stepdad. As soon as she started calling him dad, he started to abuse her.
Wow.
Five of her friends came forward and told on him. When they came and arrested him, this is how much support my wife had. When they came to arrest this pig, my wife answered the door. The detectives told my wife what they were there for, and she yelled for her mom. Her mom got to the door. The detectives told her mom what they were there for. She turned around and looked at my wife and said, "Guess what?" She said, "How could you do this to me?"
Wow.
Then the bitch, because that's what the bitch sat there in court with her arm around this motherfucker, completely
Wow.
supporting the son of a bitch. This cocksucker admitted to doing it in court and still walked out a free man because they didn't keep any fucking evidence.
Well, don't out. Your mum's on the person's side either. Your mum should be sitting next to you.
Yeah.
My mum called me a
Completely
liar.
disowned her. Completely disowned my wife. Kicked her out of the fucking house. My wife had to go. Her grandma is an angel. Is a saint. Is an angel. A saint.
Bless her.
She's the only one that had my wife's back.
Wow. Well, I'm
And
glad
this
she had
motherfucker
that.
literally some fucked up shit to my wife, dude. Some fucked up shit to my wife.
Because I this is what pees me off. You know, you got a grown ass man raping a child. There's nothing worse than a mother not believing that child. Oh, but and stay with that man. The child goes, and like, and that child then gets punished because no one will believe that child.
Yep.
And
my
I
philosophy,
can't
my
imagine how
insight
that
on that
feels.
my insight on that is, if a child comes to you and tells you that they're being sexually abused, you believe that child.
Oh,
You
exactly.
believe the child. You don't take anything for fucking granted. You don't ever doubt them. You make the person that is being accused prove to you that they didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Period. What's up,
Exactly.
Clockwork? Okay, so I'm gonna open up the panel, if that's okay, Maria. I'm gonna open up
Yeah,
the
that's
panel
all right.
if anybody wants to come up and have their 2 cents.
That's okay.
You know,
I'll
because I
have.
always love feedback and interaction on here. So we're gonna do that.
God, look,
Yeah.
I've been beaten within an inch of my life for talking the truth. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just,
For real.
I just can't
BFM Queen
believe.
has one horrific story, dude.
Wow.
I only know a fraction of it.
I'm
Oh
telling
my
the
god.
truth. Right. I can't go too much into there's a lot I can't go into detail, but
Yeah.
I can't say anything. I'm so tempted to because it's on this subject, but I can't because I can't.
Well,
You know
you
what
could
I
put
mean.
it. You could wink, wink. You could put it in the back chat, and somebody else on panel could read it. I'm not a very good winker.
You are a very good winker. Well, it is regarding my daughter. That's
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, it's all like I understand. Well, though I was still, it's still shocking knowing that someone that does something like that. I don't know what I just don't. It's like when I got carjacked. I
Yeah.
thought, would it have been easier for me if it was a stranger than my own brother? But, because I just think it would have. I don't know why, because I always said it felt like he ripped my soul out, just
Oh yeah.
ripped it out and just stood all over it, and I should imagine
Yeah.
that's what it feels like being abused as well. Soul's ripped out.
I 100%. I 100% have a raging hatred for motherfuckers that do this shit, Junior. Trust and
Absolutely.
believe that shit. When I say I'd feed a motherfucker to their dog, I mean that shit.
Yeah,
Piece
definitely.
by piece.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a raging hatred for these motherfuckers.
Everyone should, everyone should have it doesn't matter whether you think what you think of children or not, doesn't, I don't care what you think about children. It's not right for children to be abused by an adult. All right.
No, it's not.
It's damaging. It's just once you cross that line, that's it, and I don't know. I just don't know what it's like I say, yeah, it's a learned behavior, but gosh, God
Yeah.
knows what you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and that's so true. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors, you know.
Miss Gothy says, my biological father did it to me, and my mom said, I asked for it. I was a child.
Oh,
I was an infant. It was from infant to 5 years old. But she tells
wow.
me I asked for it.
Oh
It's like my abuser. It's like my abuser.
my
I found like,
God.
yeah, yeah. It's horrible.
Oh
My
my
abuser.
God.
I
Your
finally
own
got
mother.
I finally got to talk to my abuser. And after about 45 minutes of fucking just yelling and screaming at him and fucking trying to get him to admit to doing anything, he finally admitted to doing something to me. His answer to me was, because I asked him, I was like, why did you do those things to me? Why did you do what you did to me? His answer was simple. His answer was, I didn't do anything to you that you didn't want me to do. Now, I don't know what kind of sexual favors a 5-year-old to a 12-year-old child is
Gosh.
asking a fucking 40-fucking-year-old man to do to them, but it worked for me.
Wow.
But it worked for me. It sounds fucked up, but it did. It worked for me. It gave me that closure I needed for him to at least admit to
Yeah,
doing
that you
something.
done it, yeah.
And from that moment on, my life has been
Because you
totally
knew
different.
it weren't your fault. It wasn't anything you done,
Yep.
because he's a grown
Yes.
ass man, and you should know right from wrong.
Yep.
you know?
CFM Sweet says yes, because they make you feel like you have no one and no one will save you. And you
Mm.
feel like no one cares. And they then wonder what is wrong with you
Oh,
and turn things in on yourself and self harm.
sounds like
Absolutely.
sounds
Absolutely.
like my daughter. It
Like me,
sounds
I attempted to commit suicide for the first time when I was 9 years old. What 9-year-old wants to commit suicide?
my daughter was feeling suicide from the age of 9 too,
You
and
know? Yeah.
started self-harming from the age of 9. And now it just all makes sense to me. Things fall into place, and it's just so, if this is too common in my eyes, it's too well known. Yeah, hugs for everyone. It's too, there's too many of these people, and they, Gloria, don't, I just don't understand the, how you could even want to hurt a child, because don't
See,
tell me you don't know it hurts a child.
I'm glad you said that. And I've come up with the answer to that. I've come up with the answer to this question. Okay. I've told this to a lot of people. There's a reason why you, me, CFM's Queen, even Junior Coltrane, there's a reason why all of us don't understand why these motherfuckers do what they do. It's because we're the only way to understand why somebody does something is you got to become that way. You got to be that same way as that person. So it's a good thing that we don't understand why they do what they do.
Yeah.
If we did, we would be that way, and that's not good.
No, I don't get it. I don't get. I just there's just it's the worst, the worst in my eyes. Just
To
a
me,
grown
sexually
just
abusing a
look at the
child is worse than committing murder.
sizes.
Yes, to
Just look
me,
at the size. You know,
yeah, to
the
me,
size of a grown-ass man to a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old. Are you crazy? Do you
yeah,
not understand? Do you not? What don't you get? That's very wrong. How can a child be their fault? You
yeah,
ask for it. That's
yeah,
the most. I mean, that if it makes them feel better, I'm assuming they just want to make it. You know, because the child is young. There's many children that probably believe that though. You know, and brainwashed into thinking they had done something wrong. You know, now you can't tell because it's all we do it and that's it. You take it because you have to, and if you tell anyone, they people are going to get hurt.
yeah.
And
Like to me, hurting a child sexually, even physically, but let's keep it what this channel is about. When it comes to sex crimes, this crime is committed against thousands upon thousands of fucking children a year. And to me, sexually abusing a child is worse than committing murder. Why do I
yeah,
say that? Because at least when you get murdered, you only got to go through that shit one time. That's it.
yeah,
I have to relive. My wife has to relive. Miss Gothi has to relive. CFN's Queen has to relive. Even you have to relive the abuse that was either done to you or done to you physically, personally, or through. See what I'm saying?
yeah,
Every
yeah. I
single
know.
fucking
Yeah,
day of our life. I have to
yeah.
relive. I have to relive it every day of my life. There's no magical button that gets to switch it off. None. None.
I hate the guilt. There's a lot of guilt. You
Yeah.
know.
Like I
That's.
said, like I said, I told my parents when I was 17 years old, and 100% I regret telling my parents because I
I bet
seen
they felt. But I bet they felt no different. Like I
they,
felt.
they still
Like,
do.
I
They
know.
they still do. They still feel guilty. And then I wrote a poem. I wrote a poem a few weeks ago, and it's taken from my real life. I put it in poetic form, and I sent it to my dad. And my dad admitted something to me in front of my mom that I had never in a million years thought. And when he told me, I gained a lot of respect for him, even more than I already had in the first place. My dad became my I've always called my dad my hero because he is my hero, and my dad became the ultimate hero for me because I this poem I wrote, it's about me going to shoot this motherfucker that did this to me
Yeah.
when I was 16 years old. And my dad said, there was one time that I had him in the crosshairs. I
Yeah.
had him in the crosshairs, and right before, and my dad was like, before I went to pull that trigger, right as I went, something inside me in my head, and all I heard was, Jacob, don't.
I've had that before. Science say stop. Science. I've had that a couple of times. Science gone stop, and I thought,
Yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah.
It's real. It's
It's real.
real.
It's realer than real. Yeah,
Yeah, that is so real. That
yeah,
is. I mean, not everyone will get that. You know, not everyone will get that,
yeah,
and that just means it's a powerful strength with your family. That's what that shows me to get, because I heard it in the family's voice, and I think it was my brother. It wasn't a living family member. And it was God. It was just so weird, but there's a reason. There's a reason for a lot of, I do believe there's fate, and we I like to trust in fate, and karma comes to people, but the people that are doing it, the judges and the whoever makes that decision to hand that sentence down, they need to know more of how it affects the child for all their life, not
yeah,
just in that time.
yeah.
They can get CPTSD.
Yep,
It
yep,
becomes very complex, and then it can cause, like say, trauma-based disorders
yep,
and muck them up for life.
Yeah.
feeling angry,
Yeah.
feeling
A
they've
lot of
been
people
let
that a
down.
lot of people that this happens to, they never get back up on their feet again.
That's what I worry about with that's yeah, I know. That's the saddest thing about it. You know what? They shouldn't have to go through that at such a young age. I can't imagine. You know, I just can't imagine. You know, and fearing it and knowing it's coming, and you know, it's just awful. And we
Yeah.
are going to bloody make a difference. You know, we've got to stay positive.
Yeah.
I'm positive.
But
So
and it's hard to stay positive, but it can be done. It can be done.
yeah.
You know.
Well, you need the people around you that can be, you know, there's people around you that are positive, that keep it going. So, you know, there you go. It's fine.
Yep.
You've got positive people around you. So just be positive when you can.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, it is about you, you know, it's, you know, so understandably, you know, but
Mhm.
I can and I will stay positive on it because I can and I will.
Yep.
Yeah, I think since I was putting it on the news channels, it did go up quite a bit. So I need to do more new. I'm going to find more news companies that I can
Oh
send
yeah.
it to. It might take time, you know. Like you say, it's very disappointing with how many people have viewed it and shared it. But you know, I do got, like I said, I accept that some of them haven't confirmed it in their email. I know that because I've done it many times. I've gone into my emails for, oh, I didn't confirm that petition I signed. You know, it's what some people do. So yeah, check your emails. Make sure you confirm that signature in your email. So that would get it all back up. So yeah, stay
Exactly,
positive.
Junior. Exactly, Junior. This is what I was saying earlier. When you become when somebody victimizes a child, everybody that child will have contact with for the rest of their life becomes a victim of what they've done, what was done to them. He says it's almost as hard for a dad or mom to live with the fact that their child was victimized as it is for the child's psychology. The parents are kind of victims too when their child is a victim. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're not kind of victims, they are victims as well. Not a
I
physical
I
victim, but they are a victim.
I shut off, but not um willy nilly. But I just shut off because it was too much. Sometimes things can, you know, there's too much information that you find out, and you know, it's like, wow, I can't take it. You know, I felt like I shut down for a little while. You know, couldn't cope with things that have been said. I felt really horrible. I felt guilty. I didn't have no motivation. I know, why didn't I see anything? Why didn't I do, you know, like I even had fives, but I was reassured that everything was okay, you know, like
Yeah.
how I could go back. Hindsight is a great thing, you know.
See, voice for victims. I don't agree with that. I don't. Nobody will ever convince me that that's right. She says, when I was looking up info for my research papers, I came across some articles showing findings that people are born being a pedophile, but environmental factors turn into and become a pedophilic. I don't agree with that. Yeah, I know. Like I'm a
You're
walking,
not born a
talking example of
murderer,
that
are
shit.
you? You're not
You know
born
what I
a
mean?
murderer, because how would you know as a child that you wouldn't know that? It
Yeah.
has to be taught to you, or somewhere along the line you've seen it. Because as a child, you're innocent. You don't
Yes.
you don't know the bad things. You
Yes.
you shouldn't know. You shouldn't know. So, oh, it's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
I
Okay. So
can't believe all these. I can't believe the bloody mums and whatever that don't leave their child.
yeah. Yeah.
Why? I would never do. I could. No way would that ever happen. No way. Absolutely not. You know why a child shouldn't be. A child don't just come out and stuff and make stuff up that personal. A
Yeah.
child doesn't know that behavior. People, you know, like I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
a child is innocent, right? That's why when that happens, you've taken that child innocent away, because they don't know those bad things happen in life. They don't know the bad people. They don't know that people get murdered. They don't know people get kidnapped because they're innocent. So they
Yep.
don't know. So when that dirty thing comes in and does that, you've taken that innocence away. Now they've seen the world for a real bad way.
Yep.
That's that world has shown you that.
Yep.
To a child, what do you do with that? What do you
Yeah.
do? Do you know? It's
It's horrible.
it's
What's up,
sickening.
Alexis P? Yeah. So
It makes me feel sick.
I'm gonna read two poems to you guys real quick.
Okay.
These will be in the new book. This one's called When Someone Spoke. I drove through the night with a storm in my chest, a silence so loud it refused to rest. The town wore shadows like a guilty face. Every street lamp flickered with memories I hate. My hands were steady, but my soul was cracked. Each breath I drew pulled the past right back. He lived just there, behind those walls, where my childhood screamed and my spirit crawled. I wasn't there for justice or peace, not for closure, not for release. I came with a vengeance burning hot, a chamber loaded with all I'd lost. I crouched in the dark, bush covered and still, with a double barrel and a frozen will. Watched him move in his quiet home, stirring a pot, completely alone. Like the past was dead, like nothing remained. No screams, no scars, no years of pain. But I remembered every scar, and I had followed them this far. I raised the still, my fingers curled. This was the end of his borrowed world. And just before thunder kissed the sky, a voice so close cut through despair. Aaron, don't, soft but strong. Aaron, no, like a sacred song. I turned, but no one stood behind, only night and wind and fractured time. Yet something sacred held me still, some mercy deeper than my will. I dropped the weight, I dropped the war, and tears came rushing I couldn't ignore. I walked away, not whole but free, because someone spoke and rescued me. I still don't know whose voice it was, a ghost, an angel, maybe God above. But I know that night, with death so near, someone loved me enough to interfere. I almost threw everything away that night. My future, my kids, my unborn kids, my wife, my who I wasn't even introduced to yet, everything. Everything. And someone spoke and said, don't. It ain't worth it. Just don't. I'll handle it, is what I was told. And now that he's dead, I find comfort in the fact that Lucifer himself is shoving pineapples up his ass backwards every single fucking day of his life.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. This one's called What's Innocence? What's innocence? I used to know. It died the night he whispered low. It cried in silence, choked in fear, while I screamed inside, but no one here. Is it the smile I wore at 10 before I feared the touch of men? Is it the laugh I used to fake before I knew what hands could take? Is innocence the way I ran before I bled from being a man? Before my skin became his game and every breath burned down with shame? He touched me. There, I said it raw. He broke me, and I walked off without flaw. And I was left to scrub his sin with soap that couldn't clean my skin. He told They told me heal. They said forget, but I still wake up cold and wet. Still flinch when footsteps hit the floor. Still lock the goddamn bathroom door. You want the truth? Then hear it is. Then hear it loud. I wear my pain like battle shrouds. Don't talk of peace unless you've screamed and stitched your soul back at the seams. What's innocence? It's not a prayer. It's bloodstains in the goddamn kitchen chair. It's hearing footsteps, holding breath, and wishing silence could mean death. It's punching walls to feel what's real. It's flinching every time you feel. It's staring back into the night and daring God to make it right. What's innocence? It's what he stole. He didn't just touch flesh. He carved my soul. He lit a fire that eats me whole, but I spit back flames to take control. I'm not your victim. I'm your proof. I'm fury wrapped in brutal truth. Still scarred, still cracked, but standing tall. A voice that won't be drowned at all. So ask me what's innocence. It's what I'll teach when I'm the fence between another boy and pain. I'll bleed, but I won't break again. Damn.
But they hit home, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that.
Yeah.
You did.
Every day is a struggle, but I get through it by the grace of God and my wife and my children, by you guys here on YouTube. Like, that's what you guys don't understand. Like, a lot of you have become real important to me in my life and my becoming a better person every single day. Maria, you're included, Martine, all of
Yeah.
you have become a huge part of my life and my healing process of becoming a better person and standing up for what's right.
And you're here now and he's not.
Here I am, standing strong,
There you
baby,
go.
spitting fire like
That's
nothing fucking
it.
else.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
So, you know, that's it. You can just like, we can all support each other with all of it and we all help each other. And, you know, we can and we'll make a difference. You know, believe. I believe as well. I'm a believer, I am.
Yep.
I've always been, even from very, do you know what, even from a very, 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 very young age, right? I knew what I wanted in life, right? I just knew that I didn't want to be like my dad's if I ever had children. I would never hit my children. I would never
So,
show.
so what you're saying is you made that choice not to be that
I
way.
did make that choice from a young.
Thank you. Just like me. Yes, I drink. I drink alcohol. But my dad taught me. My dad taught me how not to be an alcoholic by being an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. There's all kinds of things like whatever. So see, it's not a learned behavior. It's
Yeah, I did.
100%
Yeah, I
a learned behavior.
did. I did. I just knew that. I thought I'm good. You know, I mean, they suppose they call it breaking the cycle, but I just knew what I wanted and what I didn't want, and I went with what felt right and what didn't feel right, because that's all I had to trust in myself, because no one else was teaching me anything. So I had my own back from such a young age. That's how it felt, you know, and I felt like I looked after myself, but my brother was very, you know, my brother was, I mean, we got closer when my dad left home, but, you know, he died quite young. So, but yeah, I felt like I faced things on my own and I've done it alone. I'm really proud of what things I've done and managed to do alone, and no one else is, you know, without support.
Fuck yeah.
Um,
And you should feel that way.
yeah, and like
Absolutely.
I've had a year of therapy, and that made such a difference, because the way I was before therapy, I couldn't think for myself. I couldn't think. I was a
Yeah.
complete mess. I didn't realize what a mess I was. I wasn't
Yeah.
on social media then, because I wasn't allowed to do anything I wasn't allowed to do anything when I was with him. I didn't do Facebook. I didn't do this. You know, he would sit behind me. He used to say, I can't sit on the sofa, it's bad for my back, you know. So he would sit he would sit at the dining table right behind me, and he'd be watching my phone, you know. And like, now I'm free. And now I had therapy and I'm feel, you know, it's been a long journey and I'm
Yeah.
still on that journey.
See,
You know,
I've been in therapy for the last 8 years.
yeah, yeah,
I started out at 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I went from 3 to 2, back to 3 to 2 to 3 to 2 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 1. Like it doesn't ever stop for me. Like I I I I know that therapy because my wife pushed me to it, and
yeah,
I knew I had to do it for the betterment of my family, and it's the greatest decision that I was ever forced to make.
Exactly. I'm so thankful for what I had, you know, I really am. And I knew I was going to make good progress. I knew I was, because I've always been, like I said, I've always knew what I wanted. And like, perhaps it's my autism that makes me not I can shut off things, you know, because I can shut off quite a lot. I can just shut my brain off. I'm not thinking about that right now, you know, and that's just because my brain, there's only so much my brain can take. And when you
Yeah.
take in all this information about these arses, you know, it's like I want to get rid of them all myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they do have vigilantes, you know, still that go out hunting them. There's
Oh, yeah.
people that there is good people out there. I watch it on what's his name? Chris Hansen does it, doesn't he? But there's a few others. There's some in the UK that have they've been the ones talking to the man, thinking they're a child, and they arrange to meet, and that's how they get them.
Yeah, but
So
see, the problem with that is, and I'm not sitting here bashing on pedo hunters. I'm really not, like, so don't take
yeah,
it that way. But what they're doing is a waste of time. Yes, they're exposing a pedophile, but that's only reaching out so far, because 90%, 95% of the time, there's
nothing
been
else,
no crime committed. Your
exactly.
intentions, your intent is not illegal. What you intended to do is not illegal. What
You've actually
happens,
got, yeah,
there's no actual physical victim. I don't agree with it. I think they should 100%, your intentions should be 100% accountable
yeah.
when it comes to this. But unfortunately, that's not how it is.
It's
And
true.
it's
And you know, and they don't like people being enticed either, you know, because it can come back on you. You've got to be careful of yourself as well, how far you go. And you know, but in here, you know, if you're catching paedophiles, I don't, there's, like I said, there's no evidence. All you've got is the chat. But they weren't talking to a girl, they were talking to a man, so they weren't
no
actually
victim.
contacting a minor.
Exactly. And that's what makes
So
that's what makes it a joke to me. Like, these pedo hunter
yeah,
channels, they're a joke to me. Because yes,
yeah,
they're exposing one pedophile at a time, and but these people get arrested. These people get arrested 99% of the time. When they arrest somebody that does this, they arrest them to de-escalate the situation. They take this
yeah.
person and remove them from the situation, so the situation will de-escalate and not blow up to something major. And then they go take them to the jailhouse and they fucking let them go.
Yeah, they let them go. Exactly. I know. So it is a complete, yeah. It probably hinders it more than anything.
100%, it hinders it.
Yeah.
It-
Yeah, you shouldn't really, I mean, you shouldn't really muck about. I mean, I don't agree in vigilante groups, you know, because there's times when the information is wrong and it's not the man they say. And that really gets me. You know, because I can fight if it's from the police, then I will share it about paedophile. But if there's just the person putting on there, I'm a bit dubious, because I don't know if that's an ex wanting to get paid back on the boy, or
Right,
there's nothing to tell me anything.
right.
So I won't share them unless there's a police report with it or something. But it's just basically a picture going, stay away from this man. They, you know, and I think you're more like wanting to get revenge on it. It seems more of a revenge in a lot of ways,
Yeah,
because if it's true, surely there would be a police report number, an incident number at least, you
yeah.
know. So
And a
yeah,
lot of these cases, these police officers won't even do paperwork on it.
true, they don't want to.
I mean, for real. I mean, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, it's the last thing they want is to do all that. I know, I've heard them say it.
yeah.
They do all the typing on the phone now.
Yep.
They do it, it's all done by the phone. It's, you know, and I think, God, that looks so bloody annoying to do, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But hey, you know, I just gonna keep staying positive. That's all I can do.
That's all you can do. Well, it's not all you can do, but it's a good thing to do. You know.
Well, yeah, it's a
What's up,
good thing.
Luna?
I don't like being negative. I don't, you know, I'd rather
Yeah,
try
me
and get a
neither.
solution than oh, it's not, you know, people just, I think a lot of people turn a blind eye.
Mm-hmm.
I really
Absolutely.
do.
A lot of people like, well, I don't have kids. Why do I care?
Exactly. I've heard people say it. I've heard it even
What
when
the
I was
fuck do you
doing.
mean? What do you
I
care?
know,
It's a child being fucking sexually fucking abused. Why don't you care?
I know. I hear people say I hate children. Really? You hate? How would you even say that? Why would you even say you hate children? And then what? So are you one of them that think they deserve it? Because that's what it looks like.
Because that's
Do
what
you
it
know what
is.
I mean? I
It-
hate kids. Well, I don't. Well, I can't see these paedophiles loving them. Can you? I mean,
Well, you know
God.
what, motherfucker? I hate people who hate children. So guess what? You're on my shit list.
Exactly. Same here. You know,
Yep.
it's just bloody. I mean, I hate using that word hate. I really do. You know,
I hate the word hate. Yeah.
so for an it gets me because I thought you're an adult though. Why is an adult talking that bad, saying that of a child? The child is innocent. If you're going to believe this rubbish that it's the child's fault and the child asked for it and the child this and the child that, there's something seriously wrong with all of you. You know, it's like, God.
What's up, Clockwork?
Hello. Can you hear me? Am I coming in
Yes,
okay?
sir.
I can hear
Yes, sir.
you.
Loud and clear.
Thank you. There's a phrase for that when you blame the kid it's called victim blaming. You blame
Right.
the woman. She wanted it. Or,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean
You
it's
push
a
my
fucked up
buttons.
mentality to have. It really is.
It's sickening. I hate
In
it.
my
Yep. It is fucked up. It really is fucked up. Like you never blame the victim. They're the victim for fuck's sake. How is it their fault? Like if it's your fault, you're not a victim. You're a perpetrator.
It's professionals that don't believe them as well. It ain't just, you know, and there's so many people that question that child. And I thought, why are you questioning the child as badly as you are? Do you know,
Yeah.
just they're going through trauma, and you can't question. You're not questioning my child. I'm not letting anyone question my child. End of
right.
Yeah.
story. You know, but professionals can be a
Yeah.
pain in the butt because, like, say, you know, oh, is there any problems with the family member? Did they have any? I think it's a child you're talking about here.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
how
I've
can,
I've read some of your daughter's posts
yeah,
and stuff because yes, she's a friend of mine on Facebook,
yeah,
and I'm telling you right now, there's no way, shape, or form anything she is saying is fake or made up.
no,
Not
it
at all.
really,
100% authentic, real. It happened.
yeah,
It fucking happened. Period.
yeah, yeah, definitely. There's no way you could even come out with all that.
No, no. Some
You
of the things
wouldn't
that I've
come
read
out
that she's
with
posted,
that.
that the only way that she could come up with that is if it happened.
And
Yes,
Period.
you
Period.
know,
exactly.
and to it.
What's up, Martine?
It was Martin. Hello, Martin, or Arcot
Hey,
Martin.
Martin. You got the keys to the
Arcot,
combine harvester.
you combine harvester up here. You know, I got the key.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody.
Oh, jeez. Well, I just got a Red Bull, so I don't
It
drink.
don't matter what you're drinking. You got to cheers it anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, Red Bulls are good enough for me.
Hey, I'm drinking tea right now, so cheers.
Oh, I just
Me
drank
too.
my tea.
He's drinking the twisted tea.
I'm drinking
Yeah,
tea.
I saw that.
Twisted tea. Is that what
There
is
you go.
tea?
It's like 5.5% alcohol or something.
Really? Oh, is it alcohol?
Yeah,
I thought it was a spice, a funky
5%. Okay.
tea.
Yeah, it's 5%.
It's tea. It's
It's
tea.
not.
I'm like the people in the UK. I'm drinking tea early in the day.
Yeah. There you go. Cheers, mate. Oh wait, that's Australia.
Cheers.
Sorry.
Oh no, UKers using the word mate a lot. They use the word mate a lot.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, that was a release, should I say?
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad we finally did this. You know, I know that you've been. I know that you've been on the fence about it because you know what you can and can't say and whatever. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
glad we figured out a way around that, and we got the story out there for real. I'm sure it's helped other people. I know it's helped people here today. I've
yeah.
seen it in the chat. I feel it in my heart, and every story should be told. Nobody should ever hold their own story when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Right.
Exactly. And
If
I
you
think so many victims don't speak out, or don't tell no one.
exactly,
Imagine
and
like,
they're afraid. Yeah, they're afraid they're going to be not believed or ridiculed or yeah.
but
Yep.
can you
Look,
imagine being the child,
a
right?
kid, look, a kid can come up to you and say, "Hey, dad or uncle or whatever, there's a purple unicorn in the backyard," and you're like, "Yeah, cool, good to go." But if they tell you some shit like, "Yeah, somebody's being inappropriate,"
Uncle
yeah,
Hanson, being Billy Billy.
It's Uncle Axe, to your fucking head. If
Yeah,
I find
you believe
that
that child. You believe that
in
child.
Minecraft, yeah, in Minecraft. No, believe the child in reality, but axe him in the head in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Well, Maria and I got our own techniques we use.
Oh,
I love
fair
my.
enough. Hey, look, everybody's a little bit different. I get it. I just
See,
watched a lot of.
what I do is I got two techniques I do therapeutic. Maria's technique I like a little bit better than mine because it really lets me release. Now, what I do is I'll just go on like these mass murder sprees in my mind.
Uh huh.
It's great.
I'm like,
Nobody gets hurt.
I've
Nobody
I've
gets
been
hurt.
very active lately.
It makes me feel better, and
yeah.
that's what I do. Like I've done some.
Hey, look, I'm trying to still figure out a way to Freddy Krueger these motherfuckers in their dreams, so
Me
that
too.
way totally get away with it. Totally get away with it. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I
imagine.
wasn't there. I wasn't there. But I was in his head or their head or yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
My mom
God.
told me we couldn't
I've
play.
done many things in my head lately anyway.
And
God.
that's fucked up, Miss Gothy. That's fucked up.
yeah, that is.
Unfortunately, a lot of parents will do that. My sister, my
I-
sister, my sister told my nephew and my niece not to speak about it.
What?
Wow.
My
What's
sister, okay. My nephew fucked up. My nephew fucked up and did some shit with my niece, his half sister, and she caught them and she told them not to say a word to anybody about it. But lo and behold, Mr. G2K here found out about it, and I'm a mandated reporter. So guess what happened? Fucking bitch.
I just can't imagine ever not believing my child and knowing how that would feel to them, you know, because I trust all my children and you know, don't they see it as a child wouldn't come out with that? A normal, innocent child would not
Would that?
be what they come out with.
Yeah, it wouldn't even cross their brain.
It wouldn't. It's no
Yeah,
way.
they're thinking about cotton candy and what am I
Well,
going to eat for cereal? Is it can I have a cookie? Yeah, that's normal kid shit. When they start talking about stuff like that, yeah, okay.
and it
No,
becomes
I'm gonna do you one. I'm gonna do y'all one better. It's not Freddy or Jason or Michael Myers. It's Hellraiser. Those motherfuckers. That's what. Yeah, it's gonna
yeah,
be some shit like that.
exactly. But no,
Okay,
I
so
just think
Martine says, "Fucking tell him, boss." So I'll
you
tell
tell.
you. I'll tell you. So here lately, I've been having an issue in my personal life, and months ago, I spoke a little bit about it here. I had to report my nephew for sexually abusing his half sister. I did. I reported him. I have to. I didn't want to. I fought with it. I battled myself with it, and I did it. 4 weeks ago, I get a phone call, and I'm told that it was a lot worse than what I was originally told had happened. I'm in a spot right now to where my heart goes out to both my niece, first and foremost, and my nephew because he's so young. At the time that this happened, my nephew was 12 years old. My niece was 7. And then I found out about a month ago that they legitimately found semen inside of my niece. Talk about being thrown into a whirlwind.
Oh,
My heart still goes out to my niece, 100%, and to my nephew. He's still young. Now, he's at an age where his path in life hasn't been written in stone for him. There's still hope for him because he's so young. There's a little bit there's a little bit of hope for him. Not much, but that hope I hold on to. I really do. I wrote a letter to the judge because they're wanting to just send him away to a juvenile prison and house him with other sex offenders. I don't think that's a good thing. I think it would only enhance his tendencies to do it again when he gets out of juvenile prison.
yeah, that's just, I don't see. That's the thing. You were talking about the way the laws are in this country.
Yeah.
Look, man, they need to be burned down and built back up from the ashes.
Yes, absolutely.
The way they do it now is it's fucked up. It's just fucked up.
Yeah. When you take a child whose brain hasn't fully developed yet, and you stick him in a incarcerated position with other sex offenders,
God.
the chances of rehabilitation are slim to none.
Yeah, they're almost almost zero.
I found a program in a different state that's an intense 12 to 18 month program. It only deals with boys between the ages of 12 and 17. And it's an in-home, personalized regimen per individual who goes there. I'm pushing for that. I want to, trust me when I tell you guys, look, I want to fucking grab my nephew and fucking beat the fucking brakes off his ass.
Right.
100%. I do. That's fucked up for me to say, but I'm saying it because that's how I feel.
Yeah.
My heart says that's not going to be good because he is a child. He's at a stage where his actions and his thought pattern can be rewired into the right way of life, not hurting children.
Right.
When a child commits a crime, such as sexually abusing a sibling, a cousin, and whatever,
yeah,
the worst thing that could happen to that child is to be locked up in a cell with other fucking children who have pedophilic tendencies.
exactly. Hey, look, I will quote the Bible. I do not do this often, but I will quote the Bible right here. When I was a child, when I was a child, I thought and I acted as a child. When I became an adult, I put away childish things. And that's how we've got to treat the prisoners. If you're an adult, hey, that's a whole different fucking ball game right there. You know, you can go burn for all I care. If you're a child, that child can be helped. You just got to know how to help that child.
Right.
And it's not always easy.
Locking that child up with
It's
other
not.
people, with other children who are like that is not good.
No.
I don't think there should be a such thing as a juvenile prison. Okay. Any child should be heavily counseled, go through therapeutic, not locked in a prison cell, because once they get locked in a prison cell, they don't give a fuck about them. They don't care about the children.
Yeah.
They're showing these children that they're no good, that they're worthless, and they won't ever amount to anything but locking them up in a prison cell. That's what I think.
Yeah, and this is what your life is going to be, in a fucking cage.
Yeah.
With a bunch of other fuckers that are just exactly, as bad or worse. So, but yeah, locking a kid in the cage, Look, you try to tell a kid to stay in the yard, man.
Yeah. They're gonna go out of the yard.
Yeah, they are. Exactly. Don't run across the road. What do? Run across the fucking road.
What's up, Moon over Miami? Thanks for tuning in. I'm actually going to end this in 10 minutes, just so y'all know. I got some work I got to try to get done. I'm going to attempt to go back to work. I'm going to attempt to go back to work today. I don't know how good it's going to turn out because I still can't go like this with my hand on my right arm. So I got to turn my arm, and I can only turn it that far before it hurts. And I can do this today. I couldn't do this last night.
Yeah.
Well, hey, one step at a time. Yeah.
That's it. One step at a time, definitely.
Yeah. And one heart at a time. Look, I like it when you come here and talk about this shit, G2K, because if you reach just one person, just one out of anybody who ever listens to this ever, that makes a difference in my heart.
Exactly.
At least somebody is listening.
And every little helps. I keep saying.
But I gotta give all the credit today to Maria G because this is her story. This is about her and what she wanted to discuss. So everybody, don't show me the love. Show Maria G the love. Being able to talk about what she's talking about and bringing forth information that is so fucked up that we shouldn't have to talk about it, but we do because we
do.
It is.
Everybody sweeps it under the rug. Yeah. Hey, it didn't happen. Yeah.
No rug sweeping here.
Nope. Hell, I do need the vacuum though. But yeah, thank you for being brave enough, Maria, to come up and share.
Thank you.
I mean, that's hard. That's hard.
It was, like I say, it was weird because, like, weird for me because, like, I had him in my life a lot when I was young, a lot, you know, and I just had mixed feelings. Like, you know, was it because he was scared of my dad? Oh no, I keep fighting with myself, and I got to stop doing that.
Well,
I just, you know, it's not. I can't. I've just got to stop fighting myself and just, you know, it is what it is. You know, just
there's a
tougher
compromise.
punishment.
Yeah, there's a compromise in there inside you somewhere, and you just need to find it.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Exactly. That's right. I like it when people say things I understand.
Well, you're welcome. I'm glad you understood it. A lot of times I say shit and people don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about.
Almost every single time Clockwork comes up here, I'm like, yeah, I get it, but I really don't understand what.
Yeah, you've got no clue. I can see it. Yeah, I see it. Hey, look.
Oh, I listen. I do listen.
Stiggy,
and there's,
Stiggy,
you know,
it's not that Maria G is ignoring you. It's that Maria G doesn't pay attention to the chat when she's on panel. So, because her ADHD doesn't allow her to do that, she's got to stay fixated on the topic at hand, or she'll be off talking about unicorns.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. I have, because you have to swap screens, don't you? I have to, when I go into more on my phone, then comments, it doesn't show me you or anything. It just shows me the chat, and then I thought I can't. Then I lose my track.
Me too.
I lose my train of thought, should I say?
You're like, oh, look, something shiny. Oh, wait a minute. What was I talking about?
So, Maria, will you please say hi to Stiggy? Will you please say hi to Stiggy?
Hi, Stiggy. I thought, didn't I? Oh, right. Hi, Stiggy. Sorry, we've been talking about, you know, these horrible things that happen. And I had the story to tell, you know, and it's just, you know, and this is what Aaron does and fights for. And we will keep going.
Yeah. I don't have my train of information and my train of awareness has no fucking brakes built on it. I specifically put instructions into the builder of my train. Don't put brakes on this motherfucker because once I get rolling, I ain't stopping. And I mean that shit. So I could drop down to 1 subscriber, 0 subscribers. I could jump up to 1 million subscribers, and I'm still gonna do exactly what I do on a day-to-day basis in my life on here on YouTube, and that's stand up for the people who cannot speak for themselves. I'm gonna kick everybody off the panel real quick, just for 1 second. I want to show everybody something. What this says in the background, 100%, this is what it's about.
I
Speak
like
for the
that.
silent, stand for the broken. That's what I'm
Yeah.
going to do for the rest of my life. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says or who wants to come at me with what. I'm not going to stop doing what the fuck I'm doing today.
Well, we'll
Period.
be standing with you.
Well, I appreciate it.
So we'll
I'm
be
right
there.
here, man. Hey, look, we fight for those who can't fight for themselves. That's the way I've looked at it.
Yeah.
Like I wish, like the reason I do this is because I think about what happened to me as a child and what I've gone through, and I wish there would have been someone out there doing what I'm doing when this was
Then.
happening to me as a child.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, the shit that happened to me as a child wouldn't have lasted so long, or wouldn't even began to begin with.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, there wasn't a lot around, was there? You know, all those years ago.
No.
Even,
No.
you know, because my dad they'd be in prison now if they had the. I don't even remember social services when I was young. I don't remember. I said, God, I think they have a lot to say about my dad now. Social services, you know, like everything was just hidden under the carpet, brushed under the carpet. You know, it out of sight, out of mind. You know.
Yep. And I'm sorry, Stiggy. You know I love you with all my heart, but that is not true. That's not a true statement. The child trafficking rings have not been dismantled. I wish they would. I wish they would have been. I wish they would be. But the reality of it is they never will be dismantled.
No.
Well, it's not going to stop them. I mean, you can. I mean, I know they've cracked some of the traffickers and that, but you're never going to stop. You know, there's always going to be someone else to step in, it seems. So, well, hopefully not. The plan would be just to like minimize them, get rid of them, and you know, and people can just go their own businesses and feel safe, especially children. And I mean, it's as a child, you remember yourself. I mean, you look at an adult. As a child, you're a bit, you know, you don't want to speak, do you? And you're shy, you know, and you're just. And to have a big grown man doing big grown stuff is just that I just can't. It's just, you know, bleh.
Well, then, Stiggy, I ask you to present your proof, because I know for a fact that child trafficking, sex trafficking is still going on as we speak.
Oh, let's talk about the Middle East or Asia or Russia or,
South Korea,
yeah.
Canada, the United States, any fucking where in the
Any
world that has children, it's happening. Period.
Yeah,
There's one
Mexico.
state you can marry your brother or sister, isn't there? And I told there's
Are you talking about Montana? No, wait, that's where you can fuck a horse.
Well, you know what to say about Montana. It's its own state.
Yeah, well, yeah, that, yeah.
Crazy to me. Crazy.
But I mean, what? It all died with Epstein? No, it didn't. Somebody else took over.
Yeah.
No. Stiggy.
Look at Diddy.
Stiggy. You show me proof that it's come to an end, that it's been dismantled.
That's your claim.
Proof is out there that it hasn't. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm not trying to. You know, I love you, Stiggy, but you're wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wish you were right. I wish I could sit here today and say the same things that the child trafficking ring has been totally dismantled. I can't, because that's a false statement, and I can't have that here.
Nope. Just because Epstein and Diddy got taken down, that doesn't mean it's over. That's not the end of the war.
Child trafficking's across the world. You know, it happens here. It happens in the UK.
It happens everywhere there is a child.
Yeah, it'd be good if we could like get rid of. You know, it's gonna. Like you said, if you get, I mean, at the end of the day, you need harsher punishment, preferably death penalty. It would just whittle them out that way. You know,
yep. And it's still, and that still wouldn't put an end to it, because people are still going to do what they're going to do. Period. It would put a huge dent in it, that's for sure. But it's not going to. As long as human beings walk this fucking planet, so will child trafficking and pedophilia. Period.
I've known cases where the parents have children just for that.
Yes.
That is.
Yes, I've covered cases here on this channel that have covered just that exact topic.
Yeah, and bloody hell, gosh, it's it's just shocking. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely.
Stiggy, show me the proof because I'll be the first one to stand up on top of a mountaintop and scream it from the top of my lungs. With that being said, I'm getting out of here. I got some other shit I got to do. I haven't been able to work here lately, so I got to try to get some work in today.
Thank you, Aaron.
Absolutely, Marie G. No thanks is needed for here.
Thank you. Was it
Thank you very
Clockwork
much for coming up and
Rex?
telling your story and
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
being
I was
strong enough to do that. A lot of people don't have that
The
capability. And
Yeah.
for you to be able to do that, you get one of these today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey,
Right,
Stiggy, you can walk around the world with blinders on, thinking it's all over. It's not.
By a
It's
long
not.
100% it's not.
Every time you cut the head off,
Go ahead.
every time you cut the head off of a hydra, 2 grow back. So yeah, we got 2 heads, but now we got 4 like lesser knowns that are doing it.
Yep. Well then.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm done.
With that being said,
Right.
2 things, everybody. Number 1, try to love one another right now because you might not get a chance to do so tomorrow. In fact, there are people that are here today that won't get that chance to do so tomorrow, so we might as well take advantage of it while we can. And number 2, tell your friends about me because you're going to want to know. Get to know. Laters. All you fucking haters. See you
Bye.
fucking haters. Fucking haters. See you later.
Bye.
Everybody.
Haters.
Bye, everybody.